to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And today I wanted to talk about finding humor in recovery. So this is a topic that came up today in my morning meeting, but it's something that's been kind of ruminating in my head since the beginning of the vestibular conference. There is a thread on the conference platform that's called vestibular humor. And so there's all these different threads where you can go in there and like chat with people and share about your experiences with different types of diagnosis, doctors, tests, medications, all of the things that are centered around this vestibular disorder and what people are experiencing. And one of the channels is called Vestibular Humor. And I thought, I don't think that I'm there yet for vestibular humor. So today I thought maybe it's time for me to talk about that because when I first got into my sobriety program, I felt the same way. Like I would sit in a meeting and I'm like devastated by my life. My entire life has fallen apart and it's all my fault. And it is my relationship with alcohol to blame. Deja vu. Sorry, I just had deja vu big time. And I would hear people like laughing, and I thought either they're all hammered or it wasn't as bad for them as it is for me because I was just miserable. I mean, I was okay if things just ended for me, if life just took me out because I didn't see that things were going to get any better ever. I couldn't see that one day I would be able to laugh about anything, much less laugh about my past and my experience with the disease of alcoholism. Laugh about where my disease took me in the very difficult times. And there's a lot of experience that I had that is not something that I laugh about, but there's a lot that I do laugh about now. I think that humor is a sign of healing and showing like we're moving. It's for me, it's like a sign of what am I trying to say? Like accepting the past, but not shutting the door on it, right? That's what I learned in my sobriety program. Like, we will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. Like, being able to think back to that night that I was in shenanigans and I decided it was gonna be a great idea if when my boyfriend went to the bathroom, I just got down on the floor and did the worm and did all these Michael Jackson moves. Like I thought that was a good idea and I thought I was good at it. Like that is embarrassing. And for a long time, I felt humiliated by that memory. But today, as you can tell, it's like that was a different it's like it was a different world. I don't even feel connected. I feel very detached from that past version of me. Yet I know it was me because I have the memory of it. So early on in sobriety, humor was just not accessible for me. But that gradual detachment from the embarrassment, the shame and the guilt from where my disease took me, that gradual detachment from that allows me to be able to start, I don't know, talking about it with a smile on my face. And I'm not talking about it in a way that I'm glorifying it, like I want to go back there at all. I mean, I just hope and pray that I never think again in my lifetime that it's a good idea to start doing the worm on the floor in public. So there's a difference between joking about my past behavior and joking about it or glorifying it as a place that would be great if I revisited. There's a line that I don't cross, and I have been in meetings where some newcomers will, sometimes we'll show up to these meetings before the meeting and we'll chit chat. It's a great time before the meeting to start learning a little bit more about each other's lives. So I have been in that meeting before the meeting, we call it, where somebody will be talking about like some stressful situation that they're going through, and they'll joke about needing a drink. And that's crossing the line. Like, that's not funny. We're not, that's why we're there. Like, the idea of needing a drink in order to deal with something that's going on with life in life is not funny. If I pick up a drink, I could die. That's the, I'm fast forwarding, but that's the reality of my disease. If I pick up a drink again, I will not stop until I'm dead. Period. I know that. I know that for a fact. I've seen it happen with my friends. My friends are dead because they picked up a drink again. And that's the only reason I'm still here, is because I didn't. And maybe somebody saw that I have a future in podcasting. Somebody, the powers that be upstairs thought that I maybe had a future in podcasting. So he kept me around. Um, I have noticed, however, that humor, there's a place for joking about my past. And what I wish I could do is joke with everybody in the world about some of these experiences. But it's just, it doesn't really go over very well with my non-alcoholic people in my life. So I may joke around about something that happened when I was drinking, and I'll be around, I don't know, one of my friends, or like I remember joking about it with some ex-coworkers, and they they can be joking about drinking, but if I say something, it gets like this awkward silence. Like you can hear crickets. And I'm like, I have to be able to laugh about it, right? And it's like I crossed their line. So I really try to refrain. Um, there are some people that have heard me joke, and I've gone into that area of discomfort with them, and then a subject will come up again maybe months and months later, and I'll add a little joke in again, and I can see them loosening up, but it's not immediate. That humor, there's a time and place for joking about about what it was like for us when we were active drunks. So, inside jokes in the recovery community are quite fun. We can all be like, oh, well, I remember when I did this, and, and we share experiences, and it is a part of like communicating encouragement and not just the pain. Um, the humor can be uplifting and not triggering, but there is this point in recovery that needs to happen before it gets there, before be able to do that. So laughter is definitely another form of sharing experience, strength, and hope. So humor can be a powerful tool for resilience when we're able to um, learn how to laugh at ourselves. Um, I am not there yet with my vestibular disorder. Um, I have too many painful and negative experiences right now. Plus, I don't really leave the house quite yet. I'm just not recovered enough, and I'm hoping that I will one day be gradually better and better, that I'll be able to get out and experience this disorder, this disability out in the world, and maybe funny things will happen. And it's okay if I get to the point where I can laugh at myself. It doesn't mean that I'm disrespecting my recovery if I'm able to laugh at myself. It's just kind of a way of not taking myself too seriously. Um, there is a fine line, and I realize that between like being self-deprecating and being still compassionate about my disability, and it just takes time. It just takes time. So my thoughts about this vestibular humor chat in the conference is that I probably won't be able to engage too much there. I did attempt to put a joke in there, um, and it was about how, how your computer can buffer. I don't know, the computers don't seem to buffer like they did back in the day, but they do still buffer sometimes. Um, well, I was talking about how my brain like buffers now. That's what it feels like when I'm in a conversation and like my husband will ask me something, or we'll be like chatting about something. All of a sudden, my brain starts buffering. That's what it feels like, where I'm just not, it's spinning and nothing's happening. So, so I have reached a point where I'm able to say, this is my reality and it's okay. Since my stroke, I just plain old cannot think of words the way that I used to. I cannot remember um, what I'm saying in the midst of me saying something. And I thought it was just me. But I have run across so many stroke survivors. This is really more oriented with my stroke than my vestibular disorder, but because there's like a gray area there where my stroke caused a deficit in language and memory. So when I can't remember something like that, I turned on the water and I forget to turn it off, which has happened to the point where I almost flooded the bathroom, but I didn't. Or I turn on the stove and I forget to turn it off. Those are kind of the more serious things, but I have a really difficult time, and it's gotten better, as you lifetime listeners know, starting in on a topic and then just completely forgetting what I'm talking about, just like with the snap of a finger. And I can actually feel in my head, I can feel my brain start buffering. I can actually predict that it's about to happen. Um, I can say like when I'm in the midst of talking, say it's about to happen. I don't usually do that because when I say it's about to happen, like game's over, I'm never gonna remember what I was talking about. Also, you know how when I start talking about this topic and I say, yeah, I mean, you guys know that I used to be really bad. I had to write down everything that I was going to talk about in the episode. And now I can actually keep my train of thought. As soon as I say that, I start losing my train of thought. So that's what's about to happen right now. Um, but I am at the point where I can joke about it. I can find a little bit of humor in the fact that that I lose my train of thought. I can't remember words. My husband and I, he's been really great about, he kind of fills in. We're so connected that he can finish my sentences. And people say that all the time when they're in a marriage or in a relationship, but I actually need it. I actually need him to finish my sentences sometimes if we're gonna have a conversation because I just can't keep up. My brain is buffering the whole time that I'm having a conversation. Um, I think that humor happens, or we allow humor to happen in recovery when we're able to accept that this is the way it is. This is the way that it's always going to be. Um, when I can relax into it, it also makes uh, gratitude a little easier, and it makes willingness a whole bunch easier. I'm more willing to have a conversation with somebody or for example, go on these I've been a guest on several podcast episodes for other people, and I'm more willing to participate in those types of things and more willing to um, not have my script outlined for me for these episodes because I've relaxed into the fact that I have this disability, and it's okay. If I forget what I'm saying, it's okay. Like you guys know, you lifetime listeners, you know, and our lifetime listeners, mind you, have been growing. So that's super exciting. And thank you for joining me every day. Um, and I've lost my train of thought. um, you, I'm more willing to do this on a little more like relaxed way without having it all written out, because I know you guys accept me also. So I accept my disability. You guys that keep coming back accept me for my disability, and that allows me to be more willing. And when I'm willing, that means I'm practicing. I'm practicing remembering my what I'm saying while I'm saying it. So practicing word choices and all of that good stuff. I'm really exercising my memory and my language deficit by doing this podcast. And I bet you I've progressed a heck of a lot faster by having this as a tool for me than I would have if I didn't start this 2 years ago. So I think I I'm excited a little bit about knowing that because humor came eventually in sobriety, that humor will come in in vestibular recovery as well. When I go to my stroke support groups, mainly my favorite one that I go to, that's once a month at the beginning of the month. That one, we laugh. We do laugh. And just know that if you are experiencing a vestibular disorder, you're new at it, or you've had a stroke, you're new at it, or you're just newly sober. Like, if you're not laughing yet, that's okay. And just keep showing up. Just like my episode recently, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I said, just keep showing up. Like, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Humor is a reflection of healing and growth. So let it be just that. Let it be a signal that everything is okay right now. That's all that humor is. For me, it's a sign that, you know what, I'm okay right now. And so if you're not there yet, you're still okay. You're still okay. And just keep showing up for yourself. And time will will help you get to that point. And it sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. Just be patient with yourself. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm all duded up today. I'm not really. I have a different shirt on. I bought a new shirt. It's kind of fancy and it's my favorite color, red. Because I'm interviewing somebody on my podcast. Remember, I mentioned that a couple weeks ago? Well, it was a no-go. We had a miscommunication about our schedule. So I'm interviewing this gentleman today, and I'm excited about that. So I did put on a new shirt and some fancy new earrings, and I wanted to show off for you vestibular or migraine people that I got a new pair of glasses. So these are the ones that I always wear, my rose-colored glasses. Well, we'll see if you can tell the difference. These are my new ones, huh? They're darker. That's all. They're darker and they feel even better than the first one. So you can tell when I hold them up, they're a little darker. So I'm adjusting, and that's why I'm wearing the previous ones because it's still better for me to look at the computer if I'm gonna look at the computer with these on because this makes it a little different for me. So I need to give it some time. So there you have it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.